Good evening, welcome to class. If you're new here, my name's Sam, and this evening we're going to be making our way through some bedtime yoga. Just a few of my favorite postures to practice before you go to bed to really allow yourself to relax. And you could do this all from your bed if you want to, or you can roll out your yoga mat. It's completely up to you. But when you're ready, grab yourself a cup of tea and we'll get right into it. So we're going to begin this evening's session just sitting onto the bottom and finding a cross-legged seat, taking your right shin in front of your left. So if you can, try and line the feet up underneath the knees and have the shins moving just a little bit away from you rather than bunched up nice and close towards you. So when you first get there, just take a moment to sit up tall. You may like to put a pillow behind you. If you're up in bed, you can lean up against the wall here for a moment, but just to really let the shoulders soften down, the neck get a little longer, and the crown of the head reach high. Let's take a few gentle inhales through the nose, and see if you can extend the length of your exhale. Now, assuming that you are doing this practice before bed, we're not looking to create energy or to build heat, but instead working to slow down and wind down. So let the breath be gentle, so subtle you could barely hear it. Trying to forget about the day that's been and not concern ourselves with the day that is to come tomorrow, but instead just being here. From here we'll blink the eyes open. Start to take your left hand just off to the left hand side and reach your right arm up towards the sky gently. As you look up towards the right hand, if you have more space, maybe the left hand can creep out a little further. You may even be able to lower down onto your left forearm and really allow the right side of the body to open as you extend the right arm over. Looking underneath the right armpit, trying to open up across the chest. Still keep both of the hips grounded onto either the floor or your bed. Take an inhale. And we'll reach that right arm back over to lift up to a seat. Then to find a gentle twist, take your left hand to the outside of your right thigh, rest your right fingertips behind you. Inhale to lift your chest. And exhale to peel back over that left shoulder. Lifting the chest nice and high. Finding a little more twist on your exhale. Breathe in. Twist more as you exhale. We'll bring ourselves back around to center. Keep the legs where they are. Just allow yourself to fold over the length of your thighs. So if you have a pillow, you may like to rest it underneath your forehead there. Or if it's available, you could take your forearms down in front of you and rest your head down onto your forearms or onto your hands. So if we want our energy to slow down towards the end of the day, we try and stick away from deep back bends and things like that and move towards more restorative postures, forward folds, spaces where you can fold into yourself, you can close the eyes, you can rest the head. Feel the release through the outside of the hips and into the low back. Remember gentle breaths. As we begin to rise back up, using fingertips for support. We'll lift our chest high, interlace the hands behind the back. Try and crack open the heart a little and see if both of your fists can rest just above your left hip. Squeezing the left elbow in towards your body, allow your left ear to move over towards your left shoulder. Just to stretch through the right side of your neck. If you have space, you may like to turn your chin towards your left shoulder. And then maybe lifting your chin up towards the ceiling, still facing the left hand side to stretch through the neck and the throat. And gently lowering the chin down towards the left shoulder, bringing the head back through center. And then gently releasing your hands, taking your fingertips behind you. We're going to work to lift the hips just a fraction, to try and tuck the tailbone under slightly, to allow yourself to lower down potentially onto your forearms, so keeping the legs as they are. As you lower down, we want to feel that tailbone starting to tuck under, the front of the hips lifting. And if you wanted to, you could flex into your glutes here one at a time, just to feel the hip flexors, the front of the hips start to release. And if all this feels okay, one at a time, extend the arms forward and work to lower your back down onto the mat. And feet are staying exactly where they are, just working to gently open the hips now. Take one last breath. As we work to rise, we'll take our hands to the outside of our hips, press into the elbows, lift the head slowly. Now, as you rise, you may press into one elbow a little more and use the opposite hand just to lift yourself back up. Resetting your hips, maybe you lift and lower them so they feel evenly grounded. And then nice and easy, we'll swap the legs. Just give them a chance to extend out for a moment. Give them a little bash out. And then as we swap, this time left shin will cross in front of the right shin. So opposite side, feet stack underneath the knees. We'll lift the chest up nice and high. And again, taking a moment just to let the spine lengthen. Just balancing our energy between sides. So working to keep the breath nice and slow, nice and controlled. And then this time, right hand will rest to the outside. Start to reach your left arm up towards the sky. Then move towards a space that's comfortable for you. Maybe that right forearm rests down as you take the left arm up and over. Looking under that left armpit. Finding space in the left side of the body. Using the right hand or the right forearm there to lift you away from the floor rather than to let you fall towards it. Long breath. And we lift that left arm back up. Torso will rise, and then right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Reach the left arm back behind you. Inhale to lift your chest, and then exhale to twist back over that left shoulder. Trying to keep the chest lifting nice and high, using your exhales to twist you a little more. And gently unraveling back through center. Again, taking time just to fold over the length of your thighs. Taking support here, using your hands or your pillow to rest your forehead down. As we slowly begin to rise, letting spine extend, again interlacing hands behind the back. And this time, squeeze the shoulder blades, take the fists to the outside of the right hip, hug the right elbow in, and then let your right ear fall to your right shoulder, stretching through left side of neck this time. Perhaps turning chin towards the right shoulder. And then from there, maybe exploring lifting the chin up towards the sky. Lower, lower, lower. Chin back down to shoulder. Bring the head back through center. Lift our head back up, release our hands, and once again, working to use support, moving slowly. Tuck the tailbone under, lower down towards the forearms. One at a time, gently let them rest. And that might be where you stay. That's completely fine. If you did on the previous side, and there's more room to explore, we lower down flat. Space to let the hips open. Three full breaths. With each exhale, delivering us closer towards stillness. As you slowly work to lift back up, once again, hands catch the thighs. Lift the head and press through the elbows. Maybe you press into one hand first to lift yourself back up. Then extend your legs out nice and long. Give them a shake out. So bash the calves and the hamstrings against the mat, and then move the feet in and out. So if you are in bed or you have access to pillows, you could pop a pillow underneath the back of the knees here. We're going to work to just find a gentle fold over the thighs. Now the intention is to not get as far as we can forward, but as deep as we can down. So you let your head drop nice and heavy. Bend the knees as much as you need. And just know that if your feet are there, you can absolutely catch them. You could also just rest your forearms outside your thighs, or you could take the forearms across the shins and rest your head down. We want to promote a little bit of rounding through the spine here. So as you let the head drop heavy, we lengthen through the back of the neck. And with that head drop, you can move one ear over to the shoulder, and then the opposite. So shifting the neck from side to side whilst your head is dropping heavy, to give us this understanding or this sensation of release, of letting go. So almost a hybrid between your Paschimottanasana and your caterpillar pose from Yin Yoga. So working to definitely find a connection between your upper body and your lower body, but focusing a little more on just naturally rounding the spine here. And again, using your fingertips for support. Lift your chest up just halfway. And keeping the legs where they are, walk your hands off towards the left-hand side. And if you have the space, see if your right elbow can rest just to the outside of the left thigh. Use the left fingertips for support. Take a gentle peel back, if you will, over the left shoulder. It's a very gentle twist. And shifting through center, we'll come to the other side. Left elbow will rest outside the right thigh. Use the right fingertips for support. Gently peel back over the right shoulder. And as we bring it back through center, we're going to bend up the knees a little bit here, so use the hands for support, press through the hands and the heels, lift the bottom, just scoot it forwards about halfway. So from this position, notice I have my hands back behind me. I'll turn the fingers out to either side and roll the shoulder blades back towards each other. Just lean your chest back to feel a stretch through the chest. If you don't feel too much, you might want to shuffle your hands back a little further. As you draw back, you're squeezing the elbows in towards each other, just letting that upper back move towards the floor. Stretch out through the front of the shoulders and the chest. And again, we'll let the head drop heavy. Maybe lower the left ear over towards the left shoulder. And as we come back through center, take the right ear over towards the right shoulder. And bring the head back through center. Start to lower yourself down onto the back. And once you arrive, set your fists underneath your hips and allow your legs just to reach up towards the sky. You may prefer to take a pillow underneath your hips if you have one available, and just let the arms rest down by the side. And just give yourself final few breaths here. If you want to roll out the ankles, let that happen. Crack out through the toes. Take one last breath. And let the knees draw to chest. Release your fists. Catch hold of your shins. Lift your head in towards your knees. Take a breath there. As we work to release, bring the soles of your feet to touch. Let your knees fall out wide. Once you arrive, tuck your tailbone under. Let your arms rest down by the side and allow yourself to slowly release. Letting your eyes soften shut, your fingers curl in. Allowing yourself to be here, to rest, and let yourself move off towards sleep. Once again, as always, I thank you for being here. I thank you for practicing. I hope to see you again soon. Enjoy your rest.